Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here coming at you from the Knife Center, and it's that time of the week we're taking a look at the coolest new knives that have just hit our shelves. Let's check them out. All right, so we're starting off this week with a couple affordable knives, a couple more affordable knives than we usually start the videos off with. First is a new version of the Cold Steel Crawford Model 1, which comes in about $40. For that, you've got a blade, which is a good thing.
Cool.
I like a knife with a blade. 3.5 inches in this case, 41/16 stainless, with this fairly aggressive profile. You got a straight clip point, which in and of itself isn't super aggressive, but you've got a really prominent flipper / finger guard, as well as a top guard, shall we say. It's got a bit of a thumb ramp at the back, and it gives you, especially in conjunction with that really big flipper tab at the bottom, a lot of kind of forward pressure you could place into a cut with those fingers, and a lot of protection from slipping forward as well. On top of that, you may even be able to get some practice and kind of wave this open, use this as a pocket deployer. It is kind of gentle, so it's not going to be the most fluid thing, but if you were the modifying sort, it'd be real easy to kind of put your own unofficial Emerson wave into this knife and use it thusly quite easily. We've got washers in the pivot, no ball bearings in this case, but still flips open pretty authoritatively. Has a good smack as it opens as well. Sounds very good in the oral department. Handles, we've got glass reinforced nylon, all black in this case, as opposed to the two-tone that preceded this model. We've got a liner lock for security, and for extra security, we've got a secondary safety there on the back. It's going to work when the blade is open to give you that extra level of rigidity, extra level of lockup, extra level of peace of mind as well. It does not work when a knife is closed, however. This doesn't work as a keep it closed type of lock, only on the open. And as far as pocket clip, single position, right side, tip up, just the way that most people like to carry their knives these days. But if you're looking for an affordable menacing knife, an affordable tactical knife, it's certainly going to do the job there. But with this blade shape, that straight clip point, the flat grind, it's going to be great for all kinds of EDC things as well. All right, next up is even more affordable, the new Gerber Zilch, which comes in about 19 bucks. And I was actually pretty impressed with this for the price. It was a little better than I was expecting, I gotta say. Now, the blade in this case, just over 3 inches, simple stainless in this case. I believe it's their 7CR, and really nice little shape. Very slender. It's gonna work well as a little letter opener, box opener, that sort of thing. Full flat grind. You've got thumb studs here, and it looks like it would have like a little track on it. This is more just a decorative little fuller. Actually, I haven't tried to see, you could use that. If you were better at the middle finger flick than me, you might be able to use it for that. But one of the things I like about this knife is very simple pivot construction. No ball bearings here either, but they've actually done a really good job at getting a very flickable blade. And it just goes to show that you don't necessarily always need ball bearings to get good action. They've done it here very nicely. Handles, glass reinforced nylon, a couple different colors at the moment, but the earth brown with the black definitely gets my vote. Inset liner lock, which is pretty cool. Nice big broad lock bar release here that's sticking out as well. Very easy to use. Interesting backspacer design. It's actually part of the each side of the handle. It's kind of a sawtooth or a shark tooth design, kind of like biting something there. Thomas is going to leave that in whether I ask him to or not.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's a really decent little knife, especially at that $19 price point. There's definitely other knives out there that don't feel this well put together, even at the the $30 level. And the fact that this is less than 20, I'd say is pretty good. All right, next up we've got a new handle option on several case models, red and black linen Micarta. This one right here is the saddle horn model, which has a nice half stop on its pair of blades. This guy comes in about 73 bucks right now, made in the USA, of course. Now these are using cases True Sharp Stainless, which is their trade name for the 420 that they use. You got your main clip point blade here. Edge could use a little bit of refinement, but it's a nice little shape for EDC. But if you need something that has a little bit more kind of slicing prowess, you do have the curved blade here, kind of a, not quite a trailing point because of the trip, but kind of a Skinner blade, or what would you say that is?
Reverse Tonto.
This is why I can't have nice things here, you guys. Actually, no, I'll give you props. That was really funny. So you got your clip point blade and your reverse tanto. It just looks like more of an upswept skinning blade. Nice little shape, but we've got, Stockman, Butterbeans. It's always a funny name. It's kind of like a canoe in a way. Bunch of cool shapes right now from Case with this pretty cool handle material. I dig it very much. All right, next up we've got a limited edition Boker. Kind of similar old school vibes to those cases. This is called the Rangebuster, which it's coming in about $250 right now for this limited version. And shape-wise, it has some things in common with the Sodbuster, kind of that old school working person's knife, but the blade's a little bit different, a little more acute, hence the name Rangebuster. Not quite a Sodbuster, but along those same lines. Blade here, we've got a basket weave Damascus. I believe this is a Rob Thomas Damascus. Yes, it is. Very nicely finished, full flat grind. Actually, yeah, that doesn't feel hollow. That feels full flat to me. And of course, serial numbered here on the back. This one is 255 of 275. Handles are black micarta. You've got a lock back here in the traditional rearward position. Folds up quite nice. If you're looking for classic pocket knife vibes, but want something a little more modern, want a lock, this is definitely going to be a good option. And there are carryable versions of this, I'd say too, that aren't the limited editions. Like an N690 version of this knife comes in about $172, so significantly cheaper than this guy right here, which, like I said, is about $250, $255, just under that. All right, next up, we'll keep kind of the classier train going. Couple of small Sebenza 31s are in stock right now, at least while we're filming this. We don't have a ton of them in stock at the moment, so if they are sold out by the time this video posts, I'll apologize in advance for that. The Sebenzas essentially these days move in and out of the building so quickly, we rarely get an opportunity to show them to you on video. So I'm just going to take that opportunity now, because this particular one right now is just gorgeous. $525. You've got the box elder burl inlays here on the front, the new kind of swooping crescent-shaped inlay rather than the dual stripes of the Sebenza 21, and then a single stripe there on the back. Fantastic little gentleman's knife option. I carry a Bocote inlaid Sebenza 21 myself when I need a fancier knife. Very acute blade profile with that hollow grind there. S45 VN now. They've switched over from the S35, which is very cool. And of course, you've just got that rock solid Chris Reeve Sebenza feel. You've got that, that stereotypical quote unquote bank vault lockup. Just everything feels super premium. Not as fidget friendly as a lot of modern things out there, but I still maintain there's not a lot of better buys out there on the premium end than a Sebenza. All right, next up, I'm gonna backtrack to the Boker and the Case that we looked at just a second ago. One of the things that turn a lot of people off these days from carrying this type of knife is no kind of pocket clip, so it's a little more free-floating in your pocket. Got another good option here from the Italians to help you out with that. You may remember the magnetic pocket sheaths from MKM that'll allow you to carry a slip joint knife or something without a clip in your pocket. LionSteel, who's part of MKM, has a new option here coming in about $20 with a wire pocket clip on the outside. You've got brown, black, or actually it's a dark blue, as well as more of a light colored leather option right now, all about $20. Super classy clip there, and it's just a standard pouch here on the front. Double stitched here on the back side, so it gives a place for that clip to live, or sorry, double layered, I should say, and single layered on the front. Slip your knife in there. It's going to be very easy to get to, especially once it breaks in. You've got enough of a flap there, you can reach the end of whatever you're going for. And bonus, you can use the front end as a strop when you don't have the knife in it. You want to give it a little hone, couple of swipes after you finish cutting whatever you're cutting. Always cool to have that on you as well. I've got a couple of new fixed blade options from LionSteel this week as well. A sort of hybrid karambit style with a karambit style handle with a more traditional style of blade on the front. This is the H series. We've got the H1 with a modified sheep's foot blade and the H2 with the drop point blade. And these guys come in about $154 right now. And as much as I'm almost always a drop point guy, I gotta say I'm really drawn to this particular modified sheep's foot here. And in a strange twist of fate, something you don't usually see with these two style of, or when you put these two shapes of blades together, normally the tip on the drop point blade is going to be higher up than any kind of sheep's foot out there. But because of the angles at play here, the drop point's tip is actually a little lower than the sheep's foot. Rather interesting there. But either one's really good, obviously, but I'm really digging this sheep's foot. Green or natural canvas micarta. You can also get it with black G10, and you get kind of a signature LionSteel thing. It is a single piece of micarta. These aren't scales just bolted on to the sides of the metal. No seam here on the front. It's cool to see them pull something they're really known for on their folders, their integral titanium folders, and see it reinterpreted on a fixed blade format here like this. Looks cool, and again, very, very comfortable on the fingers for sure. Blade steel is M390. Blade length is about 3 inches. You've got a virtually full flat grind on both of these. A little bit on the thicker side. It's not super thick, but it's not super thin either. Good all-around shape. I think the geometry is going to work out really well for good enough slicing and good enough power if you need to push through some heavier chores. Very comfortable on the back. All of the edges on the spine, inside of the ring and out, completely crowned, so there's no hot spots. Even if you've got a slightly larger than average hand like myself, I can still get a reverse grip on there, no problem. And if I'm just using a standard forward grip, no problem there as well. Now, the sheath on these guys has a lot going on. 3 straps, as you can see, must be into like bondage or something. You've got your standard retention strap with the snap here to keep the blade in place. You've got 2 straps that don't snap shut, but they do have Torx, or sorry, what's the word? Yeah, Torx.
Those.
But they do have Torx fasteners here, so I think you could take these off if you didn't want them. What they allow you to do, you can carry this vertically on your, or sorry, horizontally on your belt. Leave them on, you can still carry it horizontally thanks to a pass-through here, or you can take them off to kind of clean things up if you'd prefer that. Just kind of a little bit less to get in the way, but a lot of options here, really solidly constructed out of the leather as well. But yeah, moral of the story for me is I'm really digging these knives. They're not at all like anything like my normal style or what would normally attract me to a blade, but I don't know, maybe that says something. Really digging those for sure. All right, next up, we've got some new versions of the DoubleStar Fang. Previously, you could get this with a Tanto profile. Now you've got it in this straight-backed, standard bellied model. You wouldn't really call that a drop point, just a standard straight-backed profile without the dual grinds of the typical Tanto. This one right here is a KnifeCenter exclusive with the black and orange G10. Kind of blocky on the handles. It gives you a lot to hold on to. Very solid, or very grippy contact patch because of the milling, but not exactly ergonomic. But for a more kind of combat intended or tactical intended knife, the traction is going to be one of the more important things there for sure. About $122 right now. Steel, it's a carbon steel, 80 CRV2, really popular with the smiths out there these days because it hammers really nicely, but this is not a blacksmithed knife, of course. Little section here on the back, which should work as a bottle opener, and you've got a loop here as well. Not so much a finger loop or a like for a karambit, especially, I do have large fingers, but still not quite what it's intended for. But some carabiner things could work there if you wanted to carry that way. But it does come with a nice Kydex sheath. Snaps in very nicely, nice and solid, thick pieces of Kydex. No belt attachment hardware. It's designed to work as a neck carry, but a large tech lock will fit this no problem if you wanted to carry it on your belt, horizontal or vertically. Works either way with that type of attachment. Next up, we've got an auto, the Microtech Hera. We actually had this for a couple of weeks, but I keep forgetting to put it in a video, so apologies to everyone out there. But we still have some of the proof run of this knife, the pre-production proof run that Microtech will do, kind of the first run of any given knife. And these are coming in about $785 right now. Blade steel in this case is M390, double-edged, and you've got double fullers on each side too, with some milled holes in it. It has a very striking look. Black aluminum on the handles, and what are they calling this? Double Vapor Blast hardware. Has kind of a satiny sheen to it, something a little bit different. But check out the pocket clip too, very atypical for a Microtech. Milled, it's not a folded clip, and you've got that nice aggressive ball bearing there at the end. Looks fantastic, is going to work pretty well too, I do think. And a little bit swoopier on the vibes on the handle, not too blocky. Maybe pulls in a little bit of that Combat Troodon heritage from Microtech into this particular knife or a particular handle style. Whatever we want to call it, it does work really nicely. And being a proof run, these are serialized. This one right here, 183. And last but not least, I think last week Seth showed you guys some Jesper Vaknea's EDC titanium items, and did a pretty good job on that video too, I do think. Now we've got some Anso, good friend of Vox, but some Anso pieces. This is one of his custom carabiners made out of titanium, priced at $135. Stonewashed finish, blue anode in this case. A few different options if you're not a fan of the color. You've got some like bronzy ones, some silver and black stonewashed as well. But you get a nice carabiner, not a load-bearing carabiner, of course, but it's got a nice, strong spring to it. Throw your keys on there or any other sort of thing. Lots of grip here on the back for when you want to use the multi-tool portions of this. And yes, it is officially a multi-tool because you do have a bottle opener right there in addition to that pry bar. All right, that's all I've got to show you this week. Bit of a short week, but we'll be back in full force next week as always. Let me know your favorites down in the comments, and if you want to get your hands on any of these guys, we'll leave links in the description as always to take you over to KnifeCenter.com. Make sure you sign up for our Knife Rewards program so that if you're going to put your hard-earned money down on one of these knives today, you'll at least earn some free money to spend on your next one. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center signing off. See you next time.